Okay, sorry about that. I am on my phone in my car. So I actually could not wait to respond to this because this, what I'm about to say, is exactly why I was going to Natasha Cooper as a friend to address her and say, hey, if this behavior doesn't stop, I can't come back to your channel anymore. And now she's doing the same thing to me. So, if you don't mind, gather around and we'll get started real fast on responding to her addressing my legal fund, which she knows nothing about, and my sobriety journey that she mentioned. Now, I know why she did this. This is meant to gaslight and maybe make me snap, but gather around.
No, no chance, no, no dance. No chance, no dance, no chance. Give me second chances.
That's so cool!
I won! Yay! Ow! Ow! My
Okay. Hey, Amberly Rose. Hey, Luann Rose. Yes, you're welcome here, Rose. Hey, Christy. Love you, Christy. Cheryl. Hello, everybody. Lokamai. Love you. Okay. So basically, let me point out some things that I noticed about Natasha before I went to her. Let's start there. Okay. I noticed that she's very quick to cut people down, which I've done in the past. I'm not a saint, but this became a nightly thing. And then not only nightly, it became daily and then afternoon and then night. And then it became morning, afternoon, and night, which I'm sure if we look at her analytics, I don't know how many times she streams a day, but it's probably anywhere from 6 hours to 17 hours. God only knows. Um, Thank you for that, Ailey, Trey. Um, and I agree. So I was seeing some things where I wanted to talk to her about it. And look, again, I'm going to say it again. A friend, if they have an issue with you, a friend is going to be brutally honest with you, whether you want to hear what's coming out of their mouth or not. Okay, they're not going to butter you up and just agree with everything you say, or else. All right. So what I had to say, I already knew was going to make her probably upset, but I had to tell her. Okay, but I didn't get a chance to because she never responded to me. Okay, so I did end up blocking her on Facebook, but she still has my phone number. So I saw her consistently. It was a pattern where not just people that she doesn't like or they don't like her, but it became to the point where she'd be friends with somebody one day and then immediately, if they disagreed, she'd have all these things to say about them. And I was like, whoa, like everybody. We saw it with Scarlett. Scarlett's been a big supporter, even financially, of her. And she had so much to say about Scarlett. Scarlett's a terrible person. Siren's a terrible person. He was never a friend. And it's all the same thing. They were never a friend to me. They were never a friend to me. And then they say all these things. So I'm not going to address anybody else but myself. And I am going to say it was disgusting what she did to Siren. But Siren is allowed to speak for himself. And he has. And he does not have, there are no sides. Okay. They're over there saying he doesn't have to choose sides, but this is why you need to choose us. And it's like, dude, you don't need to choose anybody. Just be yourself. All right. And Siren knows that. So, anyways, I'm listening. And the first thing I'm going to bring up is my sobriety journey. Because if you guys watch my channel or if you're my actual friend, you will know what my actual sobriety journey has been. It is now, here's what I want to point out. And anybody that knows me or knows anything about me knows that from like June of last year until almost a year, okay, till June of this year, I went without smoking cigarettes. I was working out. I was eating good. I wasn't drinking alcohol, and I quit doing drugs. Okay. And I did that with the help of my employer, my friends, YouTube, my family, everybody. Now, I always wanted to stay away from alcohol, because people were like, well, are you ever going to drink alcohol again? Because that wasn't your main problem. Meth was a problem. And I was like, well, I don't know. I don't ever want to. I want to stay completely sober. Well, that didn't happen. I ended up getting drunk in June of this year. But I'm very open and I tell everybody this. I was not disappointed in myself and I still am not because it didn't make me do what the main problem was, and that was meth. Okay. So ever since then, I've tried to quit cigarettes. And the only time I smoke cigarettes is if I drink alcohol. And first of all, I don't need to explain this to you, but I do on a daily basis. I'm transparent about it anyways. Apparently, Natasha doesn't pay attention. Love you, Miss DC. Is that Misty Castor? Hold on a minute. I think it is. It looks like her. Anyways, so dude, I'm transparent about it. And Lynn, first of all, I don't care to stick my nose in your sobriety journey, but for you to sit there and be like, I quit drinking in the 80s and all I do is smoke pot now, well, that explains why you're monotone, okay? But I don't care to hear about your journey. I talk about my journey. And if you ever want to know about it, tune into my channel because that's where I talk about it. Everybody knows that I still drink every now and again, and when I get stressed out, and I fucking smoke cigarettes. That's not a secret. But let me point out to you, this is the kicker right here. Natasha, for some reason, because this is how good she pays attention. Part of communication skills, Natasha, is listening. You don't listen. So I'm going to correct you. You seem to think that that was like a secret that you were going to expose tonight, but you made yourself look like shit. Because what you proved, not just with me, I mean, you continuously do this, but what you proved in that situation tonight by even bringing up my sobriety at all was that nobody can confide in you. Because for some reason you thought that I confide in you with my sobriety journey, which I don't. I talk openly about it to the world, to everybody. You're just one of those people that knew about it, but you don't fucking listen, Natasha. That's no secret, first of all. But here's the thing. To anybody that trusts Natasha, that let's say you tell her your secrets, anything, they are not safe. Because as you saw on display tonight, she thought that, oh, Robbie drinks. He's not sober. He's lying to you guys. Well, Natasha, that just goes to show how much you pay attention to other people's channels or your friends, because I don't say I'm 100% sober, but I'm not a drunk and I don't have a problem anymore. So what are you trying to prove with that? Who do I have to unblock? It is nobody's business, but that's the thing. That's part of my channel, is I talk about that openly. Like, alcohol and cigarettes are not a problem with me anymore. I just don't like them. Okay. It's just like I don't like cupcakes, but I still eat cupcakes once in a while. I fucking love donuts, but I choose not to eat them once in a while. I fucking hate smoking cigarettes, but if I have a beer, then I smoke a cigarette. But it's not a problem. It's not what it used to be, and it doesn't lead to a gateway of what my main problem was. So let me also say, let's say that I did confide in Natasha, which I never would. And that's why she's like, he was going through, and she's, first of all, let me point out, she said Robbie Brown. My name on Facebook is Save Robbie. So she thought she'd be slick by like trying to dox me, but everybody knows my name's Robbie Brown. So there's one thing she did tonight to try to piss me off. The other thing is she thought that, you know, I confided in her and whatever, which I fucking don't. And I knew, I was like, dude, most of my conversations I'm going to go through and just fucking delete. And I did. And she proved that I did the right thing, because there were things that I'd open up to her about, maybe my early life or whatever, that I fucking deleted all that, because she went and played Siren's message tonight saying she's concerned about him, but played it to 1,000 people. You're not concerned about anybody but yourself. You're not fooling anybody, Natasha, and people are picking onto that, and there's no accountability there. So the fact that you thought that you would throw in my name like you were doxing me, who cares? Everybody knows that you're a shady doxer. That's nothing new. Everybody knows my name anyways. That's nothing new. But What if I did confide in you, Natasha? Who's confiding in Natasha right now? Ask yourselves that question. Because the second you disagree with her or try to communicate anything with her, she will take everything you confided in her and she will throw it out to the world and she will make fun of you about it. She was making fun of the fact, she was even mocking me saying, my sobriety, my sobriety. Yeah, people have made fun of my sobriety. When I was almost sober from tobacco, drugs, alcohol for almost a year, I did scream about people making fun of my sobriety and I stayed sober while doing it. And then Natasha sits there and says that she knows nothing about addiction. Well, that's because you have to admit you have a problem first, Natasha. Online shopping, gambling, scamming. I won't say more because I don't want to be offensive. You talk about your health issues, but you do nothing about it. Can I unblock the Delirian? I don't ever even remember seeing that name, but I'm on my phone, but I'll go and check my block list after this. But what I'm saying is, all of a sudden it's funny to, just make fun of my journey or say it didn't exist when you claim you supported me. Now, here's the kicker, guys. Natasha tonight and Siren, you can tell me later or in the chat. I don't even care at this point. But Natasha sits there and says, Robbie was never a friend to me. Robbie never was there for me. He never did anything for me, even though I gave her a whole entire channel. And I did used to ask her how she felt. And I did go to her and tell her I want to talk to her because I disagree with a lot of things. Concerned about her health, her blood pressure. She gets herself worked up on a daily basis. That's her choice. Now, she sits there and says that I should be supporting her and being a friend. Meanwhile, she turns right around and says, I have always told Siren that Robbie's using him. I have always told Siren to get away from him and that he's no good news to Siren. So, Natasha, ask yourself this question. If you're expecting people to do shit for you, you maybe shouldn't talk shit behind their back. Because that's exactly what you admitted to doing tonight. And I'm so glad that I went with my gut. And I'm so glad that I went to address you, to tell you the issues. And I'm so glad that you showed me that you have zero communication skills. So I don't care if you think I was a good friend to you or not. I was honest with you. You were not honest with me. You talk shit behind my back. And here's the other thing. I'm going to use Life in the Red Kim as an example, because this was a red flag to me as well. Natasha used to let Kim up on her panel all the time, parody night, joking, laughing with her, talking all the time. And then all of a sudden, immediately when she didn't like Kim, she said, and here's the thing, Natasha always says, I'm blunt. I'll always tell you what's on my mind. I'll tell you exactly what I think of you. No, you won't. No, you won't. Because you said, Kim annoyed me so much. I always just wanted to tell her to shut up. She talked too much. Well, then why didn't you, Natasha? You speak your mind all the time, right? Why didn't you tell her you didn't like her? Because you can't fucking speak your mind. That's why. Why didn't you tell me yourself, Natasha, that you thought I was using Siren this entire time you've known me? Because you can't fucking speak your mind. You're fake. I'm glad she played it to prove that I had begged her to fix things with Robbie and that she had refused. She did refuse, and you told me that. I have no problem with you talking to Natasha, Siren. I even told you, I said, I'm sorry for being an asshole. I don't want to vent to you. It's not my place to do that, and it's not my place to put you in the middle. So then that's why I pinned my legal fund for this one, because my legal fund, if you don't know, I've been 100% transparent about. Natasha says, Robbie's lying to you about his legal fund. No, I'm not. And that just goes to show, Natasha, since you haven't shown any receipts of your retainer, you clearly don't know how a retainer works, which means you don't have one. Because if you knew anything about how a retainer works, you would know my goal is $5,000 because I paid a $5,000 retainer. $3,000 I paid out of the fund so far that I've raised, and $2,000 on my credit card. And I've showed receipts for that. I challenge you, Natasha, to show receipts for your retainer. Because she says, AJ dropped the restraining order, so he doesn't need a lawyer anymore. You don't know how a retainer works, do you? My lawyer has worked very hard. I've used up quite a big chunk of that, and I'm still using some of it. And I'm still doing my legal fund. You don't like when people try to mess with your supposed legal fund, so don't try to mess with mine, because you already sent somebody over to try to get a refund and lie, and they failed because I won that with PayPal. So, Natasha, just because you don't get along with people anymore does not mean that you need to sit there and drag them, talk horribly to people, or anything like that. She says that where'd that go? I wanted to read that. She says she paid $250 for a retainer and then said she never said that. I heard that she said that her lawyer said, oh, just keep it in your PayPal. She said, listen, guys, Natasha said with her own mouth, she hasn't touched any of the money out of her PayPal yet. Let me tell you how the fundraiser works. If you go over and look at my fundraiser right now, it'll tell you that I've raised like 3,300 something out of 5,000 so far, right? Well, I've already taken $3,000 out to pay my lawyer. Okay, so that means there's only a tiny certain amount left, but it's still going to show all of you that there's still the full amount in there. So she's lying to you. She probably took it out, but the money's still showing it's all in there. That's how that works. And let me tell you something else. By retaining a lawyer, I also know how that works as well. Clearly, Natasha, that's another thing that I wanted to talk to her about. I'm like, dude, there's no way she retained a lawyer. And I had all these questions for her, but she didn't want to talk about it. I'm just evil because I have a problem with her. Well, sorry that I'm an honest friend. Because if I see you're doing shady shit, I'm not going to sit there and kiss your ass and just let you walk all over people. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Yes, I was in her chat telling her I loved her about last week, because I did have love for her. But see, the thing is, as soon as you disagree with Natasha, she throws you to the dogs and under the bus. So I challenge you, Natasha, where's your receipts for your retainer? Where's your receipts for anything? Because I have been nothing but transparent about my sobriety journey, and I've been nothing but transparent about my lawyer and my legal fund. And I will continue to do that. You are a liar. When you get mad at people, you pout like a little baby and you make fun of them and you do nothing but hate on people. And that's why everybody is leaving your community and you are just recycling people. All of those people right now sitting on that panel with you, there'll be a new bunch next month and a new bunch the next month, and you'll be dragging them. All of them. Unless they continue to kiss your ass. Then they're in the clear. But if they disagree with you on anything, oh man, they better watch out. Because you don't do that to Natasha Cooper. They write statements to ensure you don't accidentally say something you should not. Well, I will tell you this. Like, if she had an attorney for anything, yeah, she called you July 9th. I know that. And you weren't. If she had an attorney for anything, she would be keeping pretty silent on a lot of stuff. And she has a lot of nerve talking about my situation, saying, you know, Robbie used to talk this or that, but AJ got this. She knows a lot of the situation. She's not telling you the whole situation, what I vented to her as a friend or anything. She's telling you any part that'll try to make me look bad. Because, see, Natasha Cooper needs people to look bad so that she looks good. And that's pretty sad. Because I don't need to make you look bad, Natasha Cooper. You do a damn good job of that all on your own. All on your own. But you are not going to sit there and lie and talk about things that are personal to me that I'm still transparent about. So again, be very careful what you share with that woman or what you trust or confide in or anything, because she will turn on you. And I know that from experience. And people warned me, but I'm one of those people where I have to learn on my own, unfortunately. And I have. So she could sit over there and cry and whatever. But she, again, I told her, you know, you want people to stop going after you. You've got to be a part of the resolution and stop on your end. Do you think it really helps putting people up on the screen, Natasha? Do you think it's going to inspire people to stop making fun of you about your looks when you're making fun of other people's looks on the screen for hours on end with your immature friends sitting there laughing at them? Do you think that's going to inspire any peace, Natasha, or any help in your legal situation? I don't think so. And you know that. So, again, listen, I don't want anything to do with you. That's the whole point of me backing away from you. And the other day she's like, oh, as far as I'm concerned, he doesn't exist anymore. And then she sits there and talks about me nonstop. Pretend I don't exist, Natasha. And I'm going to say it politely, fuck off. Okay? Because I don't give a damn about you. You're nobody to me. And then the other thing is, here's the other thing. Natasha will sit there just like she did with poor Scarlett. Oh, they just use me. Oh, and she said it about me the other day. He barely gets 200 people in his chats. He can't even make $5,000 in his fund. He can't even do this. Natasha, I rely on my soul and my mirror as far as my confidence. Unfortunately, you can't look in the mirror and have confidence, sweetie. So you rely on numbers, super chats, and all that bullshit and your subscribers for your confidence. When that goes away one day, you're going to be right back in that mirror where you were before you started YouTube with no fucking confidence whatsoever. I'm a very confident person, and I do not rely on numbers to make me happy because I'm very happy on and off of YouTube. So you can keep your 1,000, whatever, however much money you make, your 20,000 fund, whatever, that doesn't define who you are. You're a monster. And I've experienced that. It's not all about views and numbers. It's integrity. Yeah, and I don't give a shit, dude. I've been able to sit in other people's chats and my own with 20 viewers, 30, 50, 70. You know what a slap in the face that is to your viewers that actually show up to sit there? And Natasha's done that. Natasha has literally yelled at her viewers saying, you guys weren't there to watch me and blah, blah, blah. Nobody's showing up. 20 people's not nobody. 50 people's not nobody. You're treating people like they're nobody just because they're not a high number. And you're disgusting. Didn't Natasha Cooper say no one can make someone have a heart attack or a stroke regarding Doug? Oh, good point. Good point, Boston Koozie. Yet she was saying she passed out from high blood pressure because of Siren. Yeah, and the other thing is, look, and this is not to be mean, but if you're concerned about your blood pressure and stress and all that shit, why are you spending 10 to 17 hours a day on the internet arguing with people, sitting in a chair, not moving your circulation, not getting blood flow or fresh air? Start there. Don't blame it on Siren, who was having a breakdown because you were treating him like shit. You don't do that and then say, oh, I was worried he was going to. First of all, there was no inclination. There was nothing that would even imply that Siren was going to do anything bad in that message. He was just upset. Okay. So if you were so concerned about him, why would you even play his message out to everyone? She always says this. This is what it just gets me with Natasha. She always says, oh, I wasn't going to say this, or I wasn't going to play this, or, oh, I wasn't going to say this during the friendship, but I'll say it now. She always has an excuse to fuck people over. So that should just be to the people out there that warned me, thank you for doing it, but I had to learn my own way. But I will say, in my experience, Natasha Cooper is a monster. She is. She may be a Christian. Everybody deserves forgiveness. She loves God, whatever. But she's not doing a very fucking good job. I'll tell you that right now. But I'm not going to criticize her Christianity. I'm just saying she sits there and says she wants one thing, but she drags people on a daily basis. And that's why I refuse to be a part of her channel or even be friends with her. She contradicts herself nonstop. She's the one who sent me screenshots that she hoped would get me to drop Robbie as a friend. She caused the breakdown and her own episode, whatever that was. Please, she didn't pass out. She's full of stories, and I'm just done. I don't care to have anything to do with her. And look, if you're dumb enough to sit there and be like, oh, I'm not talking about, look, that Leanne lady never did a thing to her. She's kissing ass, not talking to me. Like, who cares? Like, keep those people. I don't need fake people because I'm not fake myself. That's why I will tell you when I have a problem with you. Unlike you, Natasha, you do not do that. You do not speak your mind unless you're sitting on I was going to say a stage, but a recliner in front of everybody trying to get sympathy. You speak your supposed mind. You speak a big game. You yell at people. As long as you have an audience, you do. But when somebody reaches out to you privately, you have no intention on talking to them because you're passive aggressive. You have no intention of addressing somebody one-on-one because you're passive aggressive. You have no intention of telling somebody your true feelings about them because you're passive aggressive. You do not speak your mind. You've never told me what you feel about me, obviously. But see, as soon as you end a friendship with Natasha Cooper, she'll tell you all the whole time about what she thought about you. Meanwhile, she's bragging about how she speaks her mind. Just deal with it. She's blunt. She'll tell you how it is. No, she doesn't. That's all an image. It's all an image. You only found her because, oh, well, and look, I'm not trying to get people to not support her. I'm telling you my experience with her, and I'm correcting things that she's saying about me right now that she has no business talking about because she doesn't know shit. She doesn't know shit. She's trying to pass your warrant. Oh, God. Get your face out of your phone reading this chat, Natasha Cooper. You have a life to attend to. That's the other thing. I'm going to say this before I go because I got to drive home. She said, oh, it's all about Robbie over on his channel. He wants to make it all about him and blah, 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 not a panel or whatever. Dude, that's because I've been doing it for about 3 years, and I don't need to have a panel holding my fucking channel for me. I don't need to play other people's videos to hold my channel for me. I fucking normally come on, talk for like an hour or so by myself, and then I leave. I don't need a bunch of ass kissers to come up with me. That's how I run my show. That's why it's called Save Robbie. Do I have panels sometimes? Yeah, but I mean, for the most part, they do kind of annoy me when you have a lot of people up. It's annoying. It gets off topic, and no, it's annoying. Unless you really love those people, and there's those people know who they are. And as far as actually one more thing, that Christiane bitch, and I'm going to say bitch, because I do think she's a bitch. She talks like a child and she knows nothing about me. And she says, I was defending Robbie. Look, this is why I don't like you, lady, because you were very quick to talk shit about me and I've never spoke to you. And if I have, I can't remember. It's not very memorable. Never spoke to you. And you're wishy-washy. But she said, Siren hangs out with you more than Robbie. He doesn't even hang out with Robbie. You know nothing about Cantina nights. You know nothing about anything about my friendship with Siren or anything. And Siren and I are not dating each other. I don't use him. I don't use anybody for shit. I'm very happy in my life and I'm extremely confident. And maybe that's why you hate me so much secretly, Natasha. And you could never tell me because I'm a real confident person. Unlike you. You need super chats, numbers, and all that bullshit to make you feel confident about yourself. All I need to do is look in the mirror and wink at myself, girl. So start working on yourself, and maybe you won't need to rely on that shit for confidence. To be fair, most people on Natasha Cooper's panel are very quick to talk shit about people they don't even know. Exactly. Like most of those people I've never spoke to. And fuck Leanne. Dude, that girl was like so nice to me. And then all of a sudden I'm listening. I'm like, wait a minute. Why is she talking about me like that? I've never even like, what? It's ass kissing. And I listen, I don't do that. I don't do fake. I don't have time for it. I don't have time for ass kissing. I don't. So there's plenty of wonderful people on here, and the good outweighs the bad for me. But unfortunately for her, the bad outweighs the good, and that's apparent. She was crying today because she lost money at the casino. Well, maybe she should start saving her money. Thank you, Kimmy. But anyways, guys, thank you. I wanted to clear that up. I was going to wait until I got home so you could look you in the eye with my face and whatever, but it's irritating. Natasha, you don't need to fucking talk about me. I wasn't saying anything mean about you except for the fact that you were running your mouth about me. I have no intention of talking about you anymore. You're not interesting. You're not important. And I just don't care about you. So piss off. But of course, you can't help yourself. You've got to be like, oh, I'm going to forget about Robbie. And then you can't even last 48 hours. And all of a sudden you're bringing up my sobriety journey and all that shit. And all of a sudden it becomes a panel conversation. And you know what? I'm going to say this too. Fuck you, Jax. I don't think I ever remember talking to you or basically anybody on that panel. You don't know me, so shut the fuck up. Hey, Ask Your Bartender is driving to my Christmas tree. Thank you, Simon. I appreciate that. But thank you guys for letting me vent. And again, Natasha, I challenge you. I would be very interested to see your receipts about your legal fund. Don't talk about mine unless you could be transparent about yours. Got it? And as far as the identity theft stuff, that was a part of my case and still is. You know nothing about it because you don't listen to your friends. Love you, Nicole. Anyways, guys, I'm going to get off of here. But I hope you have a good night. And yeah, that's all I have to say about that. But thank you for listening, and I will talk to you later.
No chance. No